Podcasts on UNC-TV.org are made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC-TV.
For the past year, changes have been slowly developing at one of the state's most recognized golf courses. While this course will host 2 national championships in 2014, it is a step back in time that's shaping the course of Pinehurst No. 2. Jeff Smith has more.
This is the stage for greatness in American golf. In 1999, Payne Stewart sank a dramatic putt on the 18th to win the U.S. Open.
Lets it go.
Michael Campbell took the trophy in 2005. The U.S. Open Championship returns to Pinehurst No. 2 again in the summer of 2014, with the men and women playing back-to-back Opens on the same course for the first time in history. But it's a different kind of history that the course is going through now. For over 100 years, golfers have been crossing this lush green landscape where so many great professional and amateur players have taken a stance. But recently, the course layout has become more vanilla than emerald.
A lot of people had commented that Pinehurst wasn't what they expected. I played golf with Lanny Watkins, who went to Wake Forest about 2 years ago with his sons on Father's Day. And he just said to me, he said, "Don, what happened to the golf course?" He said, "I don't remember it ever being like this. All the Bermuda rough, the lines were all straight, manicured." He said, "I just don't remember it being like this, and what are you going to do about it?"
Pinehurst President Don Padgett listened to many others like Watkins over the years, and it was clear what needed to be done next.
People like that, who you got to respect, who'd had a history and tradition with this place over many years, started to have the same theme. And I think they missed what Donald Ross put on the ground, and there was just an overall yearning to bring that back.
In March of 2010, the grounds of No. 2 began taking on a new, or in this case, old look. To handle the restoration project, Pinehurst hired on the team of Bill Core and Ben Crenshaw.
By restore, we truly mean trying to recreate those sandy, wiregrass, pine straw, hard pan roughs that were here in the very earliest days, and which constituted not only the roughs of Pinehurst No. 2, but went so far as to establishing the character of the golf course.
There's a lot of really great golf courses, but the extraordinary golf courses are in the last 5 to 10%, and that's what Ben Crenshaw can do. He can bring out that last 5 or 10% from the player's perspective to make it extraordinary.
There's a couple of places they want to visit before their golfing years are over, and I think 2 of the places in the world that people would like to do that is St. Andrews in Scotland and Pinehurst.
Core and Crenshaw used historic photos of what course architect Donald Ross had created back in 1907. The original look was crafted to promote smart golf, not just the grip it and rip it mentality that exists today thanks to all the advances in golf club and ball technologies.
When you look at the old pictures of Pinehurst No. 2, throughout all its formative years, and even until the 1970s, it had exceptional width to the fairways, which Mr. Ross, if you read a lot of things that he wrote about, he believed in, because he believed that part of the strategy of golf was to pick the correct portion to play in the fairway, to play the certain angle to a green, and to do that you had to have width.
In addition to the fairways and lots of the natural areas being worked on, some of the bunkers throughout the course No. 2 have also had major renovations as well.
The most unexpected challenge was just the most simple, pragmatic thing you can imagine. It's getting rid of Bermuda grass. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's one thing you see photographs of where we've taken up Bermuda grass and you think, oh, that's the end of that. It has an amazing tendency to want to come back.
One of the ways to control the return of that Bermuda grass in the bunkers and waste areas is just to stop watering. So part of the restoration project included redoing the irrigation systems around the course. This also provides a secondary benefit for the resort. Less grass equals less watering, which equals environmental benefits.
About 30% less water. That's simply because we've eliminated those irrigation heads. We don't want water going into the sandscape or the non-turf areas to minimize the weed invasion.
In addition to keeping the water out of the sand areas, the amount of precipitation desired to keep the fairway conditions at proper levels is a reduction in water consumption.
The key challenge that Kevin Robinson, the superintendent of we have going on in the next few years is really being focused on the firmness of the fairways. Certainly water has a place in that equation, but it involves a lot of sand top dressing and manicuring and growing and trying to firm up the fairways. That's a really key element for this whole project.
But you can't even think about talking about Pinehurst number 2 and designer Donald Ross without talking about how challenging and fast the greens are. During the restoration, the course closed from November 2010 until March 2011, and during that time, all 18 greens were replaced with new turf. Plus, one of the greens was restored to allow for an old pin placement that had not been available in recent years.
Would really not even be noticeable what they're talking or what we're going to do to the back right of 15 green. We mentioned it simply because we didn't want the feeling of someone thinking, oh, there they go, they're changing something on the green, which we wanted to be forthright with it. It was a whole location identified from years ago. So that's really the only thing you could call a change to any of the putting surfaces, other than the agronomic change of replacing the turf on them.
While the course does reopen to play in March, the grounds will still be growing in and healing from the restoration project for several months. If you want to see more of what is going on in preparation for the 2014 U.S. Open Championships at Pinehurst, log on to unctv.org/ncnow and click on the link for Pinehurst.
Podcasts on UNC-TV.org are made possible through the financial contributions of viewers like you, who invite you to join them in supporting UNC-TV.